Welcome to the Suzane Northrop Show, where the spirit world comes alive.
Hey everyone, and welcome to November. My God, what's today? The 17th? Yes, somewhere in mid-month, and it's just for FYI for all you folks in the Northeast, you got my sympathy because I'm cold like you. But we have a lot of California folks, so we're going to have to pull in the heat from the east, from the West Coast, so to speak. But we have a great night. We have my very dear BFF friend here. We haven't done one in a while. And I like to do things with her, Austyn Wells, during the holidays, because we're both big on holidays and connecting. And this is the time of the year we both talk about how, when there's somebody not at the table that's used to being at the table, that's a whole other thing. And it's not always easy, but we've talked about this, it always really starts pretty much in Halloween. And then, of course, it uptakes from Halloween to Thanksgiving. And, of course, we're going into December where, of course, there's a huge amount of holidays. And I think that, to be honest with you, on another note, I have been, probably Miss Austyn as well, getting a lot of notes from people that they're really looking forward to just connecting, being in some sets of love and healing and just, hanging out and just having a good time. And at this moment, but really, this is a really nice holiday time, and it's a really nice holiday time because it's not based in religion, it's not based in anything, it's based in thanks. So that's the theme of giving thanks. So if I haven't already, I'm introducing my friend Austyn Wells. Hi, Austyn.
Hello, Suzanne. How are you?
I am good.
It's been so long.
Yeah, it's been too long. We haven't played in the sandbox.
5 days of no talking. Oh my God. How do I survive?
We figure it out. Yeah. So we could talk a little bit about your thoughts on with people and stuff and thanks everybody for all the emails and if you're in the little chat room here, just sort of go by. What we're going to do, though, we are going to take some messages and rather than, because on StreamYard there's a system here, and the system is that sometimes you got to bring people to the studio. Preferably, we're not going to do that because it takes very long for that to happen. I know this sounds crazy, and so we're going to run through, ask some questions if you have some messages you want to ask about, or you just want to talk about these. I mean, I can't tell you the wonderful things that are coming in. We're beautiful smiles. It's so nice. Hello, and there we go. And Stephanie, and we keep all over, which is really quite wonderful. So that's what we're going to do. So if there's anything, and sometimes we'll share some stories kind of along the way too, because again, the giving stories are really nice. My newsletter is going to be going out for December, like really soon, and we're going to ask Austyn things she's got coming up as well, because she's a busy young lady as well. So that's sort of the memo for tonight. Would you want to add anything, Ms. Wells?
Well, I want to thank you for saying young lady. I appreciate that.
Well, of course.
I'm a busy young lady. Thank you.
Yes. Well, you know what they say. It's only you're as young as yours feels. And there really is. And I know that people laugh about that, but it's really true. And the people that are young at heart, regardless of what happens, of a few lines here and there and whatever it is, there's really truth to that, because and I always say this to people, that when they talk about relationships, they go like, okay, so when you meet people, we could talk about it in all kinds of contexts, but when you meet somebody and they're up and you have great conversations and it feels really good, you're going to be drawn to them. But if somebody's a downer, and we know what that's about, if they're, who wants to be around that? So, I've learned a long time ago, if you want to bring it in, you got to push it out, because there's really something about that energy that's so true. And I know we've talked about this a lot.
It starts sounding like you're a blowfish. That's very true. I think you and I are both. Oh, Ruth, it's so good to see you, girl. It is. I think it's fortunate to have a sense of purpose, and I'm really hearing people's desire for community. So I am grateful to each and every one of you that's joining us today to create such a deep sense of community, to hold space for the people who receive messages, as well as listening to the messages that are said for remnants of things that are applicable. Because when you get into a group energy like this, the things that will be said and the people whose messages or the people who will be chosen to be read inevitably have greater synchronicity with everyone. And so if there isn't an individual message, just listen to what is talked about. And if there are things that resonate, and if there are ways that you have feelings up right now that you feel unacknowledged or not remembered in some way, notice what's said, because it's meant to be blanket love for everyone.
Right.
And I find that that's one of the benefits of having everybody in the room. So thank you for being here.
And I'll tell you something, I'm really glad that, because I know this is a very big thing for you. I mean, it is a big thing for me, but I know it's something that you do a lot in your work, and you talk about it a lot. And I'm really glad that you brought up community, because, you know, the community is so important right now for so many, many, many different reasons. But the need to connect, have some empathy, to just sort of, you know, open some hearts, because that's what this is all about. Thanksgiving, and I am sure that there's probably many folks in this room, because we have some great folks, that you see in a lot of ways in your life, you know, how privileged you are, just in terms of that, you know, you have a house with heat and roof over it and kind of all the other, and some food on the table, and we know that there's a lot of people that are struggling, that don't have that right now. So there's something to, when you do that, about that, giving that thanks and being part of it. And I'm going to sort of share a real quick, this is not a quick story, but something that I used to do several years in the city, and I haven't done it in the last couple of years. And I don't know where, I was thinking about it the other day. I don't know where else they do this, but in New York City, you can go to, in Manhattan, you can go to the United States Post Office. And in the United States Office, there are all these letters that kids have written to Santa. I really got you, didn't I, Austyn? And what you do is you go through these letters, and you answer them. And if there's one that really hits you, you choose them. I did this with a few every year. And so you go out and oh yeah, this is and I was thinking about it today. I was wondering, I wonder if any other post offices do this, but this is Manhattan. So they get amassed with letters that all these kids have all written to Santa. And so I would go down there every year, and I would go through the letters, and you know, you go to the one that pulls you, and then what you do is you go out and buy the presents that they want, or the toys, or whatever it is. And somehow the post office, or whoever organizes this, is responsible to getting all the toys to the kids. And I happen to think
does that mean that Santa lives in Manhattan?
Of course Santa lives in Manhattan, because
now wait a minute. I'm noticing an ownership of Santa now. Now, I love New Yorkers, but Santa does not live in Manhattan.
I know, but the kids that live in Manhattan and live in Queens and whatever it is, they send it to the post office in Manhattan.
Oh my God, I love this. Okay, everybody that's on the call, if every single one of us is having experiences of the macrocosm, the larger world, feeling, could we say, a little chaotic, right? When that happens, everybody feels disjointed. And I think what ends up coming up for us ends up being a lot more unsteady. This is a beautiful opportunity for everyone to do something locally. Go to your post office, find out, and then let's do something as a really cool community tonight. Let's all research this and find out, and then post it on our social media and see if we can get like a really good news group flow.
And if for some reason it hit me today, because like I said, that was something that I would do. Like I said, I haven't done it the last couple of years, because now what I do is, because, you know, I spend time outside of the city. And so what I do with my local thing is I go to the market and what they do is they have a list of people that need food.
Okay.
And you know, and there's one woman here, she's a phenomenal organizer. And I know that this is kind of all over. And what she does is she knows families that they need this and need that. And what you can do is, if you've gone to this market, you've gone shopping, you get points.
Mm-hmm.
And so those points can be converted into food. So I happen to have like all these points because I never use them. And so I gave all these points and gave extra money, and she will make sure that it goes to some of the families that need them. So there's just so many things that you can do. And if it's really time of giving thanks, let's do it. Let's just do it.
I would like to say something on behalf of being your friend. May I do that?
Sure.
One of the things I don't think people know about you, because they know you from your work, and I have known you now for, 15, 20 years, something.
Somewhere in there, yes.
Suzanne has become a diamond in my life. She is generous beyond belief. She is tender. She's kind. Everyone, you are so fortunate to be in her space, because I promise you the depth of love this woman has is so genuine. And it's very much coming from a childlike innocence that's very rare to find.
Now you got me the Kemp here.
I love you, Suzanne.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Like, you say things like that, and I just think, oh my God, this woman is so beautiful. So I'm grateful we're friends.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm having a love fest, and all these people are watching it. Oh God. But no, everybody, I just, I think it's beautiful to just, and a gratitude, right? So I'm being grateful and recognizing Suzanne, because she's
and somebody else they said, great idea. I remember those letters that were sent to the post. So obviously it's Manhattan is not the only place, because Jan said that she remembers those letters too.
Oh,
because,
Chris, of course. So Chris in the chat, I call her Linksta, because she always put in the link for what the answer is. So if everybody looks at Chris's comment at 313, it's USPS operationsanta.com/letters. Thank you, Chris.
There you go. See, I knew this was, and I didn't even think about this. And I just only thought about it because I was writing it in my newsletter today. And I kept thinking, like, I remember doing that. And I remember, you feel so good. I mean, there's just something that you feel good about giving, and it's going to be so. And I kept thinking about, like, some of the kids now, like, like they're going to wonder if Santa forgot them, or I mean, it's like, these are children. I mean, and they're children, and sort of like, they see that Santa's supposed to land on the sled, whether they believe it or not. It doesn't matter, but
you got to give them some things to believe in that are beyond the things that our generations have gifted them in the last couple of years. So
exactly.
Let's go back into magic and mystery. And
yes.
That's great.
Yes. Somebody's laughing that Santa lives in Manhattan. Yes, Santa lives in Manhattan.
Well, ask any New Yorker, and I think everything happens in the city.
But let me tell you something. You can't imagine how many letters there were. Oh, I mean, I must have sat, for 2 hours one afternoon, and I could only go through so many. I mean, after you start reading, I mean, after about 20, you're destroyed.
All right, so we've got Operation Santa, and even if even if your faith is other than, recognizing Christmas, I'm certainly sure that there are opportunities, but it's kind of a good one just because you would be making some kid. Can you imagine?
Right. Yeah, I don't think they write letters for Hanukkah, but maybe they do. But who knows? Who knows? Yes. So, but whatever it is. Okay. So let's see if there's any questions along the way here.
Yeah. Anybody have any questions? Okay. Thank you, everybody, for being so sweet.
Yes. Well, listen. I've never had any but quite wonderful people who come and visit us, whether it's, I don't do blog talk anymore. That's where we ended up doing the StreamYard. So there we go. And you let me know if anything hits you along the way. I know somebody's near the Colorado National Mountain, which I know is quite wonderful. There you are. So let's see.
Just go ahead in the chat window and write what it is, if you have a question or if you need some guidance or a loved one in spirit you want to connect to.
Just give us a holler.
Yeah.
Or the little keyboard here. So got some Florida people, Rhode Island is probably chilly too.
Okay.
Let's see. We got some California people, some Arizona people. Okay.
We do. Okay, we've got some people coming in now.
Okay, let's see what we got going on here. Oh, watching from Chicago. Lots of blessings for Chicago folks. So, okay, let's see. Yes, Diana says it's very cold in the Northeast. I'm going to do ditto on that.
Go down, Suzanne. Go farther down because we've got all the readings at the bottom of the thread.
Oh, okay. Wow, I'm going all the way down there. Okay.
So go to like 317 at least. Yeah.
How do you see numbers? I don't see numbers.
That's the time they posted.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's it. Okay, I got it. So 317. That means they got to be out in your neck of the woods. Because
no, I think it's just posting on my that way. Even if if it's 6:17, your time would be the same.
Okay, got it. So let's see what you got going on here. I got a name? Do I get a name?
Just go.
Okay.
With one.
Well, so let's see. Okay, we have Linda. We have Susan. Okay. It's interesting. Okay. Are you talking about? You're not talking about Sienna by chance, are you?
Huh? Is that to me?
Yeah, it's to you. I'm looking at these 617s. Okay. There's a few of them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of 617s. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Okay.
I'm gonna do Okay. Did you connect with anybody right away?
Yeah, I did, but like, why don't you jump in and then we'll go from there. I just want to.
Okay. I think I'm gonna talk to Rose. Because there's actually, she's asked for two people, but there's actually three. So real quick here, and I guess if they type in, it will come back to the bottom. Won't it, Austin? Yes, probably come back to the bottom. Okay, so we'll go back to the bottom. Okay, so Rose, your mom is here, but she's here with your son. But there must be another sibling with him because he talks about the sibling that's left here. And I think it might be another brother from what he's telling me. And I don't know if he's the G or the J name, or it's his brother that's the G or the J name. I want to say it's like maybe like a Jimmy or a James or a Jake or some. It's the sharp sound. But this young man passed very fast. Her son passed very, very fast. Shows me his upper body or his head. So I'm going to assume whatever was wrong with him was them. And I'm not so sure, but I think he brought your mom over, or it was the other way around, but they were very close. Like he was very close with your mom. And there's another woman that's coming. So either your mom lost a sister, or I think it's more of an aunt than a grandmother, but it could be all on your mom's side. So I have to scroll way down to the bottom to see if she's coming back in here. But I will tell you this.
I haven't seen her do anything yet.
I haven't seen her yet, but I will tell you this. There's something very close coming up connected to him. I want to say that, it's interesting because there's a Robert here about the son with the aneurysm to the head. So maybe we're crossed between the two of them. But anyway, I want to say that there's something coming up close. Either he was very big into holidays, or it's a birth of passing connecting with him. They were. Okay, my mom and my son are close. This is her. She's come back in. Yes. My mom has lots of sisters on the other side. That's it. That's her. Okay. So I want to mention one thing here about your son, though, Rose. First of all, he's a pistol and a half. I just got to tell you that. And and I, like I said, I don't know which one was, but one brought the other over. But there had to be, like I said, there's got to be a lot of aunts and sisters because they're all having a really good time together. And one of them was a major baker. I mean, this is like a mega baker. That's what she was known for in the oh, and his death is this week. There you go. So I knew I had the right people. I said, like, it's got to be now, or it's just got to be coming up. So his death anniversary is Wednesday of this week. So we know I told you he was a rock star, and he's really pushed his way through. I want to mention one other thing to you, though, Rose. First of all, I keep hearing your name twice. The only time I hear names twice, your aunt. There's your aunt. Okay, thank you. Anyway, when I hear a name twice, it means your first or middle is connected or passed down from her. It might be this aunt that I'm talking about here. So we love baking together. So there you go. So Rose got her aunt, she got her mom, she got her son. They're all coming here together. So anyway, he jumped out at me, and you know, and I'm thanks for the response. But I'm going to tell you one other quick thing about him, Rose. He comes to you a lot. And I have to assume that the holiday is a really big deal to him because he keeps talking about this time of the year. Oh, and the name came from another great aunt. So there we go. So you got all your folks, Rose. Thank you. Okay.
I'm going to jump in real quick with Susan Feehan. Susan posted, she says that possibly retiring soon. She has some fears. Any guidance? Susan, I first of all want to recognize the fact that whatever company, whatever institution that you're retiring from, I hope to God you are being celebrated deeply for your level of commitment and for your tenacity, because it looks as if the company has just gone through so many ups and downs and shifts and changes, and you've been perfectly flexible and also done a hero's job of learning how not to say out loud some things that probably you wanted to say out loud. So I just want to celebrate that part. I think part of the reason why that retirement thing seems a little kind of perilous maybe is just possibly a lack of vision on your part. And it's not a negative. It's just, I don't think you've spent the time constructing what that can look like. And part of the reason why I was drawn to the question is just because I think it serves a lot of people going through different levels of transition, especially people that are nurturers by nature who really want to make sure everybody else is okay. So our identity, there's a beautiful book I want to suggest to people by Dr. Lindsay Gibson, which is called Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents. I'm sure no one can relate to that title. Anyway, nurturers, rescuers, we tend to be born from circumstances where one or both parents have perhaps addiction issues, or they're narcissists, or they're light switch parents. Like I say, they're either there or not, and there and not. What happens in those circumstances is that we compensate either by becoming very needy, and a lot of us might have a sibling that like fits that bill, or we become the invisible one that is always aware of other people instead of ourselves. So we will fit very well into a corporation, into a job or something where our job is to take care of other people, and we'll be extraordinary at it. But what ends up happening is we hit a point in our lives where there's a level of resentment that's difficult to transcend, or we get to a point where someone says, what do you need? And we can't even answer the question. So I think when it comes to those kind of transitions, when you're moving away from a role in which you've been taking care of people and moving into a new situation where you are on your own and it's all about you, it can absolutely feel paralyzing. So all I want to say is don't worry about it. All you need to do now is construct, and it actually is kind of fun, is to spend a little bit of time just investigating what that might look like. And it probably might be a little bit because it isn't something that you've invested in as much as you've invested in other things. It also feels there's been some distractions of late, emotionally and personally, that have distracted you as well. But Susan, don't worry about it. You're going to be good. You're going to be really good. In fact, I think once you make that decision, but my suggestion would be make a deadline, like pick a time. Otherwise, you're going to keep going, oh, I should stay a little. Oh, it's the holidays. Oh, I can't because of that. And it'll just go on that way. Okay. So I hope that helps, girlfriend.
Yeah. And I'm glad that's a good one.
Thanks, Chris.
Well, Well, the thing is, it can apply to a lot of people because there's so much, there's so many changes now. People. I mean, I keep seeing that people like are trying to get jobs and looking to get jobs and having issues getting jobs, and people put out like 100, resumes and so we're on a roller coaster world here. So I think that's a great thing to know. And I like the way that you said that, it's obviously she knows her skills. She's obviously really good at what she does. And it's true because we're going to pull in those people with those kind of skills. You just are because that's just the way it works.
The resource that people don't want to let go of.
Yeah.
Yes.
So okay. I got another one if you don't have it.
Go ahead. I have one, but go.
Okay. I think this is Cinda. And I got her husband here. I don't even like to use the word hubby. Okay. First thing that I'm going to tell you from him. Okay. I think that's what I'm hearing because I'm hearing a name like Thomas or something, but that's something part of her last name. So that's how he's identifying. Interesting by his last name. Okay. First thing I want to say, Cinda, is that it must be the theme. Holidays was a huge thing for the both of you, and he knows that this is a hard time for you because of that, and he wants you, of course, to celebrate anyway. But what I really want to sort of say to you more than anything is that he wants you to know that you were incredibly beyond tireless in taking care of this man. He didn't have the greatest ending, but you made a difficult ending quite special and quite wonderful. And this is going to sound strange because it wouldn't seem as though that this would be something that one would deal with at the end of their spouse's or their partner's life. But he said, you made him laugh. He would have these days, and you would somehow make him laugh. That was really hard, but that really helped him through whatever this process was. You really caring for him very well. And he said that there were moments that he tried to keep it inside, but you really made him do it. So whatever you did at the end of his life that was extremely difficult, I want you to know that he is extremely appreciative of it. He said his dad brought him over, so I'm going to assume that they were pretty connected. And there must be a younger male in the family. I don't know if it's both of your sons, or there would be another son or another younger male connected to him, or sometimes could be a younger brother, whatever it is. And there's something with February with him. I don't know if that's a birth passing or it has some other significance. It could even be Valentine's Day from what he's telling me. Nice man. And he really wants you to do some of the things that you've been wanting to do. He says you don't like to spend the money, but you should. Yes, there you go. She just piped in. There you did. So you did everything you could to help him cross over. So that's why it was so appreciative. His grandson's birthday is in February. There you go. Wonderful. I knew it was a younger male. I wasn't sure what kind of the younger male it was. So thank you for that confirmation. And he thanks you as well because he's certainly keeping an eye on the boy. And he does say the boy has a lot of his blood in him. I don't know if that's good, bad, or not so good, Cinda, but whatever it's, he's bringing that up. So that's great. So he's obviously keeping an eye on them. And he was just so thankful for what you did. And I don't have to tell you or anybody else in this room that caretaking is if it's not the most difficult thing in the world, it's dang close to it. It's Betty Davis would say like getting old ain't facetious. Well, neither is taking care of people.
Yeah.
So okay, perfect. Okay, Ms. Wells. And unless you want to add anything else in here, go ahead.
No, I'm gonna And parentheses on that one.
Okay.
I would like to connect with Bader or Bader. Maybe it's Bader. Bader. She wrote, I think, that today would have been her 51st wedding anniversary, and she'd love to hear from her husband in spirit.
Oh.
So I am very drawn to him because, first of all, I know you have a character of a husband for sure, because he loves the attention that I'm giving him in this moment. Like he's blushing a little bit, like he's like, okay, here we go. And I know that he would have not naturally been open to mediumship when he was on the planet, but he's gotten used to it, it seems. So I think this mediumship is something that you've engaged in conversation with him before. The first thing he really pulls me to is your caregiving of him and you playing so many different roles within your relationship with him. Because I know that there was a really almost love at first sight from him with you, not so much you to him, but it worked out, he says, in his favor. He would not have wanted it to go any other way. He would marry you again just because he's romantic in nature, but he's like a private romance. Like he does little things, not like huge, great gestures, because there's a shyness with him that really surprises me because he can be perceived very differently on the outside when people, just meet him. But he really calls my attention to the end of his life because you did a hero's job of being the strength for him and being very, very present for him in his passing, almost hyper organizing and what's the right word? Kind of being a sergeant to everybody else and organizing who could come and see him and how that could transpire. And it was absolutely a beautiful testament to the love that you have for him. I know that his health journey wasn't a long demise, but it wasn't a quick demise either, but it was enough that you had an idea that things were coming to an end for him. And he wasn't, I think you almost were very maternal to him toward the end for sure. And it's just, I think what he's celebrating about you is just so many aspects of your love to him and how much you understood him, because I think for some reason in his family system, I just don't feel like they were great communicators. And in your family, I think they were better communicators, but I think what you did was you learned to accept him for who he was, which was not something he knew about himself. So I don't feel like he knew how lovable he was. And I just am really touched by your heart because you would do anything for this man. And I know he would do that for you, but to feel that kind of love is so beautiful for me to touch into and just to celebrate. And he dresses casually, but like I feel like the top part of him looks like he's trying to wear a tie and a coat and everything, but the bottom of what he's wearing is like casual pants, almost like sweats. So it's funny, he's got like, I'm like, we're only seen from the waist up, and so he's like playing with the idea of like they can only see this much of me, so this part of me looks good, but he just is sending you lots and lots and lots of love and gratitude for everything. And for teaching him how to stand up for himself, because you found your voice in the marriage, and he was like a little bit thrown by it, but God, it was really helpful. Like it gave you the authority to do all the things that you've been doing since he passed. So I'm just sending you so much love because 51 years is a long time.
I'll say.
Beautiful relationship.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Long, beautiful.
Yep. And I always sort of say to people that, and you liked each other for 51 years.
Yeah.
So that's actually pretty cool.
Oops to it, but really,
that's life. We take the bitter with the sweet. What's what they say. Yeah. You're going to have those moments. They come hitting hard. So, because we're talking about community and all these other wonderful things that are going on here. When you, because I know you do a lot of groups and stuff. When we talk about this, what do you think is important for people to know?
About messages, about life,
about community, about what some of the struggles people are going through, like that. Because there's interesting energy going on.
There is, well, I think, I will speak to this, and I think it's a realization I'm personally also having too. We all have defaults. We all have things we do when we're feeling diminished somehow. Um, some of us retreat, some of us become overly social, some of us don't stop moving and keep, going. I think it's a great time to know yourself well enough to call yourself out on your stuff. And when you go into whatever that diminutive thing is, like, whatever that limiting belief is that you have about yourself, is to really sit down and say, okay, we've carried that forever. Is that really serving us anymore? Is it serving us to say, I'm not lovable, I'm not enough, I can't? Like, that's not going to work anymore. And as with all the astrology that's hitting all the generational planets this year, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, all 5 are shifting to air and fire, which means things are just going to happen fast. So if there's a time to transmute your stuff fast, and Mercury's in retrograde, so there's an extra kick of it now. It's now's the time to really step into a different level of personal spirituality, whatever that is, but being accountable to yourself and realizing everybody's having a really difficult day. So to expect someone else to bend over backwards, to make amends, to do the right thing, it may not be the right season for that, but you can be the person that opts for the higher road, that takes the initiative, and you will feel exponentially better about yourself than unloading on another individual because you're having a day. So it's about figuring out what is that Switzerland idea where you find a neutral space. So if you are someone whose tempers run high, take a moment to suss it out before you encounter the person that you need to have the conversation with, and figure out what your talking points are. Because I think we're so accustomed to reactive behavior right now that a personal spirituality just simply means I am taking personal responsibility, that I am going to be infinite intelligence in action to the best of my ability. I'm going to fumble, I'm going to make mistakes, but if I can try and be the best human being I can be, and I can surround myself with people that are aspiring to the same thing, then I can say I've had a good day.
Nice. I'll add my 2.5 cents to that, just for some people who don't know this, but for people who do know this, because I'm a big, Mercury retrograde person. This is like, my actually one of my first loves. Believe it or not, I knew about astrology when I was 5 years old. Don't ask me how I knew, but I did. But anyway, is that it's an especially. And it's kind of like everything that we're talking about, which is kind of interesting, cool, is that it happens to be a really good time, believe it or not, for writers or writing. And when it's basically addressing what you just talked about, if you're a person who likes journal stuff, or you need to have some reflection, put the hand in your pen in your hand and just, write it, because a lot of times it helps us get into that sort of that state of like reflection, like what you're just talking about here. And it's interesting because it happens to be really good for it. And I think the reason, and I could be wrong on this, but I will say this anyway, I think one of the reasons why it's really good for writers is because, and if anybody who is a Mercury retrograde person, Stephanie does not like Mercury retrograde, but anyway, is that, you got to be really careful what you say, because it's all about communication. And if you say something the wrong way, or you take something the wrong way, and somebody says it, you're look out for the cannonballs. Just look out for duck. So that's why it's sort of, what they say, like, think first and speak, which, by the way, I'm unfortunately very bad, because I tend to like throw it out, and sometimes, and I'm forever saying things without thinking it through, and I'm forever being challenged on it. So in any case, when it's during this time, I try, somebody is agreeing with me here. Oh my God, you're right. I'm going to say this is an opportunity, is what I'm trying to say, where you can really kind of like utilize it. Now, it just started. I don't know how many days it's been in, but I know it goes 3 weeks, generally 2.5 to 3 weeks, and it's generally 3 times a year. So, but
We
this is a time where this just.
We're in
What?
Mercury in retrograde until November 29th. Through
Okay, so there you go.
Thanksgiving. Isn't that fun?
Okay, perfect. Right afterwards. So that'll be great.
Because you need Mercury in retrograde with your family stuff, right? Like,
yes,
don't we need
exactly.
more
You
right
need
around
to have
the
the challenges. That's
holidays?
especially because that's Mary Kay says it's November 29th. So in any case, so if you have these challenging times, because if you're going to have them during Thanksgiving time with the family, well, there you go. But anyway, so that puts a whole damper or whatever you want to call it on the rest of them. But in any case, so I would say certainly work up to the challenge. I don't believe in coincidences, and I believe everything happens for a reason. And somebody says I'm half Italian. The words, I understand, Ruth. I'm with you. So there we go. Mercury is more profound if you're born under that aspect. Oh, that's interesting because I think anytime you're born under an aspect, that's it. And also, if you have any Gemini or planets that are connected with Gemini or air signs or an opposition, which is Sagittarius, then you're always gonna you just are gonna get it. Maybe that's why Stephanie doesn't like it. But in any case, I got her laughing. But in any case, that's the thing. But one thing I did learn about it a long time ago, I think maybe when I wrote my first book, is that I learned that, oh God, that was I remember being able to get a lot done during that time, just because it kind of forces you to sort of like do that. But like I said, I know a lot of people like to do journal writing and things of that sort. And another thing is which you can utilize it with, by the way, because somebody was asking me the other day about connections with your folks or your people that you love that have crossed over, is that you could do this writing before you go to sleep and put it out there, or if there's somebody you want to make a connection with. So that's another thing to sort of like keep it in mind about that sort of that sort of a connection. And also is that when we talk about the connection stuff, it isn't, sometimes we get messages from people that maybe that aren't even crossed over, but that are here.
Yeah.
And they need, and you know something's not right, like and if you don't listen to those messages, or you just call up and start chatting on the phone and see, and if you're connected to you, they're gonna give you some feedback on it. So I'm a big believer that, I don't believe in just things falling from the sky. They've got to come from something. So if I'm getting something from somebody, like I know there was a while ago, I was getting some of that from you, Austyn, even though we weren't talking. And it was like, then I sort of, reconnected with you. Yeah, well, since it's in the air. So, but I will do it tastefully and, open up the door for the option to do that. But I think if this was never a good time, this is a damn good time to do it, because the connections with people right now is so darn important. So darn important.
Can I jump in with a reading?
Yes. Yes,
Sorry.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Janine Kerr, I want to come to you. She wrote that, and if you want to speak to this at all, Suzanne, do, but her dad and her best friend, Pierre, I want to go to Pierre because Janine, one of the things that I love about him is he has like the joie de vivre thing about him. He has he's very stylish. He's very put together. He has an opinion about everything. And what I love is you tend to be very hospital corners on things. And what I love about him is he's just going to say whatever he says. So there's a really neat contrast with the two of you. But I know that he loves you deeply because you understand him so well. And so I'm highlighting this one because we were talking about like giving people a hall pass and being a good friend to people. And what I love about him is he speaks his truth, and it can offend people, but he never means to do it. Like that's just what he does. Like that's a gift that he has. And you always find a way of like saying it so you're saying it, but not saying all of it. Right? So that can leave you a little resentful. So what I love about the balance of your friendship is he would say things and people would be slightly offended by it. And you will say things, but won't say the full truth. So then you still have a residual. So the reason why I'm picking it up is you guys were a great balance for each other. really great balance for each other. But I know he was a little bit disenfranchised from his family. And I feel like what you did was made him feel like he had a home.
Mm-hmm.
And made him feel like he was loved beyond. Plus, he has a hilarious sense of humor. And I feel like, you know, how sometimes we're funnier when we're around people who are funny. I feel like you guys just laughed a lot, primarily because when your energies were around each other, it was just like, there's just like, it's like, oh my God. And he's a little, like I said, he tells the truth, but like he's a little picky. You can pick up things about people that aren't always so, you know, and you would be like, ah, but it would be fun, right? So I love the interplay between the two of you so desperately, and I'm sad because I can feel, well, I also know that he just filled a deficit for you, but I also feel like you get signs and symbols from him. He's showing me he's shown up in dreams for you. So I know that there's a whole bunch of different ways that like he communicates, because he's not going to like go dark, like not this one, like he will not do that to you. So he might play with you a little bit on that. And I feel like you're up for the game on that, because the spirit world won't toy with people, but there are ones out there that'll be like, what could I do today? And he's kind of in that thing. So sending you so much love, Janine.
That's great. That's great. Okay.
Yeah.
I got, this is a combination message for this person and a combination message for anybody that's on the screen. This is for Dave. Okay. So you've got to trust me on this one, because I've been doing this for a really long time. Okay. His mom passed on Thanksgiving.
Got it.
And he was not present when she crossed over.
Okay.
And of course, he's carrying a lot of massive sense of guilt, and would love to hear from her. So what I'm going to tell you, Dave, which applies to everybody else, is this. And I've done this for a really long time. Again, you got to trust me on this. If you were supposed to be there, you'd be there. They choose who's there or who's not there. This is not always a personal thing. It's that, you know, sometimes we think that, well, they would really want us to be there. Well, if they really wanted you to be there, you would have been there. And sometimes there's a larger picture as to maybe why you weren't. And so you need to let that go. And you need to take in the love that you said that you have honored her by doing all the things that she wanted through her. That's honoring her by doing all the traditions that she taught you when you were being raised, and you've carried them on obviously within your family. And so that's the best gift you could give her, not to hold on that you weren't there. And you really need to listen to that, because you know what they say, I feel you. And I know that obviously this is raw because we're coming into Thanksgiving. So of course you're thinking about it more so, but you got to trust you weren't supposed to be there. I can't answer that question for you. And I'm not even so sure you could answer. Maybe you have some ideas about it, but I will tell you this. If you're supposed to be there, you'd be there. And my little favorite joke that I say to everybody when you're in the hospital or just sitting next to their bed or whatever it is, do not pee or have a cigarette, because they'll die on you. Okay? So if unless you can go 24 without either one of those, there you go. My 2.5 cents.
And my 2.5 is, I always use this analogy, but if you can think of it like a party, you don't leave the party when everybody's there, right? Nobody leaves the party when it's fun. You leave the party when people start leaving the room.
Right.
So if you can think of death for some people like that, it's easier for them to energetically disentangle from you if you're not right there.
Right.
And so we put guilt on it, like I missed it or whatever. And, you know, Dave, I love your mother very much. She was a very, you know, selfless woman in some ways. And I really feel that she also was extraordinarily private as much as she did things. And I also feel that there were times in your life with her where you were disconnected from her too. So I think there was missings with each other, but trust the fact that your mom lives through because there's food that's repeated in the family every year on behalf of her. There's decorations. There's even ones from childhood, like popsicle stick stuff that she's showing me. So there's like almost like Father Christmas dolls or some kind of dolls that kind of got put up, or China, like I can't remember the name of the China figurines that she collected, but all those things have been disseminated with the family. So she feels connected to everybody through object. And when you think of them, they know. So just trust all that stuff.
Yes.
Guilt's a big one, but it'll help you be. The thing about guilt, though, is it does inform you to be a better human being going forward. And I think that's always a good thing.
Yes. Yeah. And Evelyn makes the comment. She goes, she wouldn't want you to be hurt so much. And that's the truth. They don't. It's not. And like, I know everything is sort of about us, but transitions, entry and exit is about the people that it's doing it to. Trust me. She said, I work in hospice. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes. Well said. My mom, Trish, when I stepped out. There you go. So we listen, everything becomes about, especially when there's that grief from that loss. Got it? But this is one thing where that's one little tip that the folks upstairs gives us. Our entry and our exit, man. And there ain't a dang thing you can do about it. And thank you. Yes, it does make sense. If you think about it, I like the idea of the party, leaving the party. And you're right. Sometimes people really want to leave by themselves. I just, lost one of my friends, my longest friends of 40 years. And it was like, she made sure there was no one there. I mean, that was just who she was.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she was the life of the party. Trust me.
Yeah.
So she just made sure that was basically the deal. So you got to, just got to roll with it, and you got to trust it, because like I said, those are our choices. Those are our choices.
Agreed.
So you have some things coming up probably for the holidays or whatever here. I know you've got I know you have your wonderful community stuff going on. You got some wonderful compliments, by the way. I'm sure you saw them, Austyn. How you saved some people's lives. So it's the best thing they ever did was take your classes. So nice stuff. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
I saw them as I was scrolling down here.
Yeah. I'm glad you think. Yeah. I do have a fun thing to announce that I will be putting out probably in the next week or two more concisely. And that is, I'm doing a trip to Bali next year. Which I'm excited about. I've been working with a woman. We went to Egypt earlier this year and had a phenomenal time. We're doing Bali next year. And then the next year, 2027, I'm going back to Egypt. Egypt's really fun. But the Bali group is going to be.
I think they got a brand new museum, by the way. I think
we went to it. We actually got to.
That's the one you got to go to. Okay, because I just heard all about that. Yeah.
Oh my God, it's amazing. There's a quick. They did an amazing thing. I'm going to save it. Well, yeah, they did an amazing thing because Abu Simbel is where the statues of Ramses are. And when UNESCO took it out from under the water and took the entire monument, which was ginormous, and put it on land again, they couldn't simulate on 2 days during the year of the sun hitting Ramses, all of Ramses' statues in the eye. They couldn't simulate it. The new museum has an alabaster triangle, and they have one of the Ramses statues. And on the same day as Abu Simbel, the sun comes in through that alabaster triangle, hits Ramses in the eye, and they recreated the magic.
Oh, wow. That's pretty
Isn't
cool.
that amazing?
That's pretty amazing. Yeah. I had heard just recently about, somebody was just recently talking about that it was a brand new museum. And So there you go. Egypt 2027. There you go.
It's fantastically organized. I'm right now. I have an active grief group that I started, which I really am enjoying, and that will hit the new quarter. I'll do a new quarter of that in January. I'm really enjoying that very much. I'm doing celestial navigation right now, which is an angel kind of guide class, and then I'll announce my classes in January for the new year. So that'll be coming up. So if you're on my website, austynwells.com, you'll find out all of that information coming up.
Very good.
How about you, Suzanne? And my membership, which I love.
And of course, your membership. Well, I have a membership too.
Yes, Dead People Society.
Dead People Society, which actually I was able to copyright that. Can you believe that? But anyway, so I do have an event that I've done for the last, I don't know how many, 10 years or so with Thomas John. We do a live in-person event in Sturbridge, Massachusetts. So for all you folks in Massachusetts, we've been doing it for years. And And it's nice because, you know, as you well know, a lot of people don't do in-person stuff anymore. And this has been sort of our, you know, our tradition for a really long time, because he's actually from Massachusetts, and
they work beautifully together.
Thank you. And so we have that event coming up next month. I was supposed to be doing something with XLO, but I'm not sure if that's yet in the field. That's also kind of in Massachusetts. And I'm actually going to have I always try to do my own separate from my small groups, but I always do like, you know, sort of a, a gallery group with as many people that show up for the holidays. And that'll be in December as well. So a lot of those things are coming up, and you can of course check those out on Austyn's website, and of course my website, and Austyn Wells, and Suzane Northrop. Not that you have to worry about spelling our names, but that kind of like works. So what's this? Gail came up wrong. Always in. I'll see. Well, okay. Anyway, but wait, a lovely note from Gail, who's a sweetie pie.
Oh, she's so sweet.
Yeah.
Everybody, thank you so much for being present this afternoon. Suzanne and I greatly appreciate all the ways that you not only show up here, but support us in the work that we do. I really mean that from the bottom of my heart. And I also just want to say it's such an important time to just be kind to you.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
And if that's like wobbly and you need some help with that, then figure out how you can find a place in a space where you can connect.
Yes.
Because the one thing, I don't know if this has happened with your membership, Suzanne, but it definitely has become evident with mine. I tend to process things on my own. I'm independent and I hermit and the whole thing. And it's a big deal for me to ask for help. My membership has taught me so much about people and kindness, the permission to ask for help and showing up for other people. And God, it's just taught me so much about how beautiful humanity can be. So if you are finding that there's a deficit in your life, look at both of our, offerings and just things that we do, because we love community and we just adore all of you guys so much for just supporting us.
Yes, and one other thing, I'm actually going to be in California. I forgot to mention that. I'm going to be in California, hanging out with Austyn for one thing, but end of January, February. So, so check me out on my West Coast stuff as kind of as well. But yes, thank you, everybody. Great holidays to everybody here. Take good care of yourself. Spend some time just listening. I told you, take advantage of the Mercury retrograde. Because that's sort of all part of it, because it really is about giving. And if you can, spare some change. I don't know. I love this idea with the post office thing. I don't know if that's anywhere, but check it out.
Well, and a fun one for kids to do too,
Yes.
Maybe a family event. What a fun thing to do, like for a Thanksgiving activity.
Kids love to give.
Yeah.
Kids love to. That's why they still have lemonade stands, and that's the truth. And they still do.
They do.
They do. So be well. Take care. Happy holidays to everybody. Enjoy. Eat as much as you can over the Thanksgiving. But the holiday lends itself to it.
It does. It does. Yeah. Just relish the people. Love the people you're with. Love what works in your life, and just project it with a megaphone to all the people who support you and nurture you and everything, because connection is just so stunning.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Check it out, kids.